No way. Okay, gray box, pink shirt, black background, white table. What's new? We are back for YouTube. I just got done with lunch. I had a little coffee. So let's just look at the card. Hidden in plain sight. Things that are hidden in plain sight. Oftentimes my glasses, my car keys, my cell phones. Opportunity. Opportunity is often hidden in plain sight. What's the opportunity hidden in this box? Okay. I actually have been begging for a topic for a while because these rather unassuming pebbles that look like something you would just find on a beach, I think are Yooperlite. And the reason I wanted to do Yooperlite was because, as you all know, I've mentioned this a few times, my family is from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I don't have a Yooper accent, no. Like sometimes we'll take the boat out on the ocean, the lake. Oh my God, that's so bad. But anyways, Yooperlite is native to the shores of Lake Superior up on the Upper Peninsula. And I've always loved that part of the country. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And today we get to talk about a stone only found up there. And the reason it's called Yooper, it's spelled Yooperlite. And the reason it's actually called Yooperlite is because people from the UP of Michigan, Upper Peninsula of Michigan, are called Yoopers. So I am like 1/4 Yooper. My grandmother was from the UP, so I'm like 1/4 Yooper. So what's in the next box? Is this a ticket up to my cabin? Nope, it is a light. Because what's interesting about Yooperlite is the reason, holy cannoli. Holy cannoli. So Yooperlite is actually a type of sodalite, which we've talked about on the channel. And for those of you who haven't seen the episode, I'm gonna have my team pop up the link to the sodalite video, but also don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on what's coming up in the future, but you know the whole spiel. Okay, so the reason Yooperlite is so cool was because people didn't really know that it existed. It was actually hidden in plain sight until you flash it with a UV light and you see that it looks like it's lava. And I just think that is like maybe the coolest thing ever seen. And it's from the UP, so it makes me uber happy. There's more boxes with more cards. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
What? No way.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh my gosh, this is so cool. I'm Natalie, by the way. Can you wave to YouTube and say hi?
Hey, everybody.
Okay, I had no clue. I thought you were like a kid's toy that someone was playing back to me and punking me. Okay, so can you introduce yourself and tell us why you are on the Yooperlite episode?
My name is Erik Rintamaki, and back in 2017, I went out on the beach with a black light and discovered fluorescent stone and named them Yooperlites.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about this fluorescent stone. I know that it's basically sodalite, but it's known for its fluorescence.
They are called a cyanide-rich and fluorescent sodalite.
Okay.
They all came down from Canada from a place called the Coldwell Complex by glacier activity. So they all got drugged down from north of Lake Superior, across Lake Superior, and then dumped in all the Great Lakes and anywhere that the glaciers deposited stones. These glaciers were about 2 miles thick and super heavy and super large, and rocks were no problem. I grew up an agate picker. My grandfather was an agate picker. He owned a jewelry shop, and he got all his stones off of Lake Superior. I thought if I went out with a mineral detection light, there might be a way for me to find agates on the beach at night using long-wave UV lights. So that's what I tried. And I went out 3 nights in a row. I found absolutely nothing. My 4th night, I was on my hands and knees, found 3 little fluorescent orange stones, screamed and yelled on the beach out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah! Yeah! Look what I have created!
And went home, Googled it, couldn't find anything about them. I typed in fluorescent orange minerals in Michigan. Nothing. I took them to rock and gem and mineral shows, and I showed them to geologists, and no one could give me a definitive answer of what these were. So I sent some off to my friend. His name is Erik Rintamaki in California. He's a geologist and a fluorescent mineral expert.
Cool.
He told me they were a cyanite-rich and fluorescent sodalite. I said, Gabe, that is the worst rock name in the world.
Oh, totally.
He said, well, just make something up, use where you live and what they do. So I picked Yooper for where they're from.
The UP was where I kind of fell in love with gemstones because I grew up seeing quartz and agate and all the copper up there. That's kind of where I got bit by the gem bug.
Yeah, there's so much mining up here, you know, and it's one of the most mineral-rich areas in the world.
Oh, totally.
I mean, our beaches have more different types of rocks than any other beaches in the world.
We talked about, this is a type of sodalite. We talked about where the name came from. They were basically dragged from Canada all the way down to the Great Lakes. What are some other like super cool facts about Yooperlite?
They're super popular in Japan.
Why is that?
I don't know. They really like American things and things that are popular in America.
Do they set them in jewelry? What do they do?
Yes. Anything you can do with a stone, you can do with a Yooperlite.
I'm a little confused. It's sodalite, and I know sodalite fluoresces, but what makes this like different than sodalite?
Not all sodalite fluoresces.
Okay.
And not all sodalite fluoresces very well.
Okay.
This sodalite happens to have rare earth elements in it that are activators that make it fluoresce nice and bright. They come in white, black, gray, tan, red, pink.
And this is just because it is a variety of sodalite with some really cool trace elements, and it's unique. Yeah. That is so cool.
I took these things to everyone who would listen to me. Geologists, friends, gem people, rock people, anybody that would listen. I came up with the name Yooperlites, and I started selling them online on Facebook.
Great name.
Okay. 4 gentlemen from the Michigan Mineralogy Project contacted me and buy some stones for me. So about a week later, they sent me a message on Facebook and said, hey, we think you have something new for the state of Michigan, a new discovery. Would you mind if we did some testings on the stones that we bought from you? And I was like, of course, you bought them, do whatever you want. And I don't hear anything for about 6-7 months. And I get a copy of the mineral news in the mail describing my discovery and giving me credit for discovering Yooperlites.
Have you found any Yooperlite near White Pine or Ontonagon?
Oh yes, yeah. The whole Keweenaw is loaded with them.
That is so cool. I can't wait to tell my family all about this. They're gonna flip.
Yeah.
I've got another box. I'm gonna open this really quick, okay?
Okay, yeah.
Hey! Ah! Look at this!
Hey, yeah. So that's what we were just talking about, the shape of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
My favorite. I love the UP. I'm a Yooper. I'm 1/4 Yooper. My grandmother was from there. And look we have the Lower Peninsula right here. I think I got all the cool facts I needed to today, and I will definitely be looking you up on Facebook. I want to drag my family to look for Yooperlites next time we're up at our cabin. So hey guys, I'm gonna let Erik go, and we are gonna do a closer look and wrap up this YouTube video. So we said goodbye to Erik, but this is definitely one of my favorite episodes. I love the UP and I love Lake Superior. I really do think the UP was where I kind of developed my love of gemology and geology and gemstones. So to be able to have this all come full circle, especially on YouTube with you guys, has been super cool. Like definitely one of my favorite episodes. So I just want to show you guys the fluorescence right there. We've talked about fluorescence on the channel before, and since this has already been like a very dense and super cool episode, I'm just gonna put a link to another fluorescence video for you guys to watch. You know, I think the best part about this video is knowing that not only is there a gem from a part of the country that I love, but can you imagine what Erik must have felt like when he found something new? I mean, I just can't even imagine how exciting that must be. That's kind of like every gemologist's dream. I want you all to take a closer look at the magnet, which is my favorite because it's the shape of the UP, and look at that beautiful fluorescence. I couldn't even imagine what I would think if I was walking down the beach at night and saw something like this. So take a closer look at that fluorescence, and then, you know, take a closer look at these stones as well. They are extremely unassuming, and if I cannot tell you how many times like I've been walking down the beach at Lake Superior and you see pebbles that look just like this and you don't really think of it. Maybe Erik's story is kind of a testament to the fact that opportunity is hiding in plain sight. And whether that is a career opportunity or an opportunity to find a gem, you really never know what's lurking around the corner. And I like to think that you never know what wonderful things life has around the corner. And I think today's episode just reiterates that. So yeah, I'm gonna go look up a recipe to make pasties. And I'm gonna call my family and I'm gonna send them a picture of everything that we talked about today on the channel. And you guys are gonna like, subscribe, ring the bell, and I like campfires up on Lake Superior. So you guys should send me a picture, an emoji of a campfire if that exists. And thank you all for watching. This was definitely one of the more joyful and heartfelt episodes I've had here in a while. So thank you to Christopher for setting this up. He is the real MVP today.